His voice was once described as a gift from heaven itself. For nearly 7 decades, Johnny Mathis sold out concert halls, topped the charts, and made the world feel things it didn't have words for. But behind that extraordinary voice, a mystery has been quietly building for years, one that his most devoted fans have been asking about in hushed tones. And now, finally, the truth has come to light. And it isn't easy to hear. John Royce Mathis was born on September 30, 1935, in Gilmer, Texas, the fourth of 7 children. His family moved to San Francisco when he was still very young, and it was there, in the fog-draped neighborhoods of the Bay Area, that a voice began to take shape that would eventually stop the entire music industry in its tracks. His father, Clem, recognized something extraordinary in his son early and scraped together enough money for vocal lessons. It may have been the most important investment in the history of American popular music. By the time Johnny was 19, he was performing in local jazz clubs. By 21, he had a Columbia Records contract. By 22, he was a star. What followed was a career of almost incomprehensible longevity. Chances are. It's not for me to say. Misty. The 12th of Never. Song after song that didn't just chart, they embedded themselves permanently into the emotional fabric of American life. His 1958 Greatest Hits album remained on the Billboard charts for an astonishing 490 consecutive weeks, nearly a decade, a record that stood for years. At his peak, Johnny Mathis was one of the best-selling recording artists on the planet, and today his estimated net worth reflects a lifetime of extraordinary success, sitting at around $20 million. But wealth and legacy, as Johnny would come to know deeply, cannot protect a person from everything. For the past several years, fans had begun to notice something troubling. Concert cancellations. Fewer public appearances. A quietness around Johnny that felt different from the natural winding down of a long career. The questions multiplied online. Was he ill? Had something happened? People who had followed him for 50 years deserved to know, and yet silence persisted. Then, in a deeply candid and courageous moment, Johnny Mathis opened up about the reality of what he has been facing. He revealed that he has been dealing with the effects of a serious fall and the physical challenges that come with aging at nearly 90 years old. The man who once moved with effortless elegance across concert stages has had to slow down in ways that have been genuinely difficult to accept. And yet, here is the part of this story that matters most. Johnny Mathis has not disappeared into bitterness or despair. Those who have been close to him describe a man still deeply engaged with music, still surrounded by people who love him, and still possessed of that warm, disarming humor that has always been as much a part of him as the voice itself. He has lived his private life entirely on his own terms, coming out publicly as gay in a 1982 interview with Us magazine, decades before Hollywood made such honesty fashionable or safe, and he has never once apologized for being exactly who he is. Johnny Mathis never chased trends. He never reinvented himself for a new generation or chased a comeback narrative. He simply sang, with a purity and an emotional honesty that made people feel understood in their loneliness, hopeful in their heartbreak, and less alone in the quiet moments of their lives. That is not a small thing. That is everything. And whatever the coming chapters hold, the truth about Johnny Mathis is ultimately this: he gave the world something genuinely rare. And the world, all these years later, is still grateful. The mystery has been solved. But the music was never really a mystery at all. It was always just one man, one voice, and an open heart. And that will never stop being enough.